Hey everyone, welcome to Laravel channel. I'm your host William Juma. In this video, I would like us to preview what we expect in the upcoming new Laravel version 11. Laravel 11 is expected to be released in the first quarter of 2024, and that is between now and maybe into the month of March. To take a look at Laravel 11 documentation, we can be able to just visit laravel.com and then click on documentation. And then what we will do, we will view the master version. And as you can see, even as we just select the master version, we are being warned that this is documentation for an upcoming version of Laravel. So at any particular point where you have another version being almost released, you can be able to check that documentation and pick into it and see what there is. We are not going to read through. I'm just going to install the installation of Laravel 11, and then we can be able to just talk about some few things that we'll be able to mention. We will not go into an in-depth talk about it. But you should remember that this documentation may change as we approach the release date. So let us talk about how to install Laravel 11, and I would like us to just visit. I have my installation in my local machine inside a folder called XAMPP. That is where we have my PHP installed, and inside here I'm going to open Git Bash in the htdocs folder, and then I will be able to run the command composer create project, create -project, Laravel, and then of course I will put in the name of my application. So we can say Lara 11. After that, we can be able to pass the flag dev-master, and that will install for us the latest version of the Laravel application. So I will hit enter. Our Laravel application is fully installed, and even we can be able to see even in the installation that the database that is set by default in Laravel 11 is SQLite, and you can see also the migrations of the three files have been done. We have create users table, we have the create catch table, and we have the jobs table. I would like to open this file, the folder in VS Code. So I'm just going to type code, and hit enter. That will open our application inside VS Code. And it's important to mention that for you to be able to install Laravel 11, the prerequisite is to ensure that you have PHP 8.2. So if you have PHP 8.1, you will not be able to install Laravel 11 in your machine. So that is the only thing that you need to have or take consideration of. So let us go ahead and talk about several things that are actually in this version of Laravel. The first thing I want us to do is to check the folder structure. So I want us to begin with the app folder. And now you can see in the app folder we have HTTP, models, and providers. Those are the three directories that we have there. And all this is in trying to make the Laravel application slimmer. So inside here, we are missing several folders. And of interest to mention is the exceptions folder. As you can see, we do not have it. And in Laravel 10, if you check, we actually have a directory that is called exceptions. So that one is not there. We also have the other folders that are actually inside the HTTP directory. We usually have middlewares, and we also have the kernel.php. Even that one is not there. Some of these files that I've just mentioned that are not visible here have been consolidated in bootstrap app.php. So you can see we have this bootstrap directory. And this bootstrap directory was there in the other versions, but currently when you look at it, there's additions that have been done to it. Apart from caching, we also have app.php. And when we look at this file keenly, there are several things that we can be able to take note. So of course, we have the routes, we have web, we have the console where we will be able to run our commands, and it's inside routes console.php. Then we also have the health check. So in this case, if you visit app, you can be able to check the health of your Laravel application. And then we have middleware. So inside here, you can be able to pass in your middleware. You can be able to pass in the exceptions. So as I said, the middleware folder is not there. The kernel folder is not there. And also the exception folder is not there. And all those directories are handled inside this file. Of course, we have another directory that is called providers. And here you can be able to list your providers. There's another thing that is of importance for me to mention. When you look at the config directory here, if you open it, there's nothing. So the configuration files that are there in Laravel 10, all of them are in existence, but you do not have them listed here. The keys in your Laravel application will be handled exclusively by the env file, the environmental file. And if you must create the configuration file, then you can go ahead and run the command php artisan. Let me just move this because we are using the Laravel prompt, and it requires the window to be a little bit big. So we can run php artisan config, and then we can say publish. If we do that, then you can see all the configuration files that come by default in Laravel are listed, and you can be able to say which one it is that you want to publish. And you can very much go ahead and publish all of them if you want. But in this case, there is really no need. So after that, I also want to talk about other things. So maybe we can be able to just open another terminal, because if we want to talk about other things, we can be able to use it. So in the database migration folder here, as you can see, the first thing that is very visible is that the database that we are using is actually SQLite. And if you want to change the default to something else, you can be able to click here. And if you are using MySQL, you can be able to uncomment these comments and change the connection here to MySQL. And then you can go ahead and use it. So basically, that is how easily it is. But for development purposes, SQLite is just good enough. You can be able to use it and prototype your application. Then once you are able to decide that you want now to go to production, you can decide to activate my SQL and then continue like that. I also want us to talk about something else here inside the migration. And there is some consolidation that I've been able to see inside this migrations directory. And here you can see we are having 3 migration files. One of them is called create users. I want us to see what create users has. And inside here, we can be able to see that we are having several tables actually. So we have the users table, then we have the password reset tokens, then we have the sessions table. All those tables are in existence in the users migration. And this means you can be able to add more tables depending with whether they are related or not. And in this case, it can be able to assist you to be able to have big migration files, but not many migration files as it has been previously. Because in the previous versions, for the migrations by default, you could be able to create a migration for each table. But now you can be able to group some of them. You can also look at this one for catching, and you can see we have 2 tables. And then you can also find we have jobs, and we have also 3 tables in the jobs group. So basically, you can be able to create migrations and group them. when you have related tables, you can be able to just handle them together such that you will not have too many migration files. Every other thing seems the same. There are directories that I've skipped above here, and if I've skipped, it means there's nothing so much to talk about, like public, even resources, there's nothing really that is of a difference. And then when we go to routes, usually previously we had 4 files inside here. We had broadcasting.php, so the file that handles broadcasting, and then that is for the private channels and the presence channels, and also type of channel. So we had broadcasting, and then we had console, and we had web.php, and we had API. So these routes are not there, the 2 of them, that is broadcasting.php and and API.php. So if you require to have them, you can be able to run the command php install and then :API, and this you install the API file here. And you can also be able to change this and run broadcasting. When you run this command, it will also generate those files here. I believe this video has given some perspective to what to expect in Laravel 11. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment, and share. Bye.